We need to inverse the tendency that we had for the last 40 years because of that regulation, and that also has created the perfect conditions on a silver plate for renovators.
Quebec is changing the way rent increases will be calculated a few months after the province's housing tribunal, known as the TAL, recommended a record average rent hike of 5.9% for this year. The changes were outlined in Quebec's official Gazette Wednesday and are expected to be simpler and more predictable.
It's going to be simpler because being a landlord and renting myself, simplify everything, makes it easy for everybody.
We're working 2 jobs, to be able to afford, pay the rent and eat and just like have a normal life. Not even a normal life, below normal, to be honest.
We're facing actually the major period of rent increase in the past 2 years in Quebec history. And instead of acting to support tenants facing that major rent increase, the Quebec government decided to sit on the side of real estate corporations.
The old calculation was based on 13 variables, while the new one will be based on 4. The average consumer price index in Quebec for the reference year and the 3 years preceding it, in addition to the variations in municipal taxes, school taxes, and insurance costs. If this had been used for 2025, the TAL's recommended rent hike would have been 4.5% instead of 5.9%.
It will be more rent increase in the next year because the new method is based on inflation, and the increased rent is a major impact of the inflation. The more rent will be higher will be the inflation, and higher will be the rent next year.
In all of abnegation from the landlords, we understood that even if it was to our advantage, it could not work anymore. So what we recommended was to use the general inflation and the 3-year mobile average to be more in phase with the actual cost of detaining and maintaining a building.
Another change Housing Minister Francilène Duranceau is making to the TAL rules is setting a 20-year period to recover renovation costs with a fixed rate of 5% per year.
So now we will know in advance what it means when you spend that much money and what is the return on your investment. So that's a good thing. And because it was changing a lot, it could go, that 20 years could go until 50 years to get back your investment. So you could calculate that, okay, we'll have to pay for 3 roofs before getting the money back for 1.
In Montreal, Johanie Bouffard, City News.